It's my first year, and I'm teaching high school in Hell's Kitchen before it was Brunch Kitchen. And Lee is assigned as my mentor. And he's very kind and very generous, and he's really patient with me. And he teaches me how to make like the Board of Ed lesson plans and how to manage my class. And basically, he kind of teaches me how to teach. And usually we like to get an empty room when we have a free period, and we just sit and we talk. And he's really a good listener. And he, asks me questions, and he wants to know about me. And he tells me stories about how when he was in the Peace Corps. And I kind of like him. But he's 12 years older than me. He's a vegetarian. I like burgers. He lives in New Jersey. I'm in Manhattan. And he has joint custody of his 13-year-old son. Like, that's everything I am not interested in. That's just not the kind of guy that I want to be with. But I get butterflies when I see him. And we start going out. And we're together through the school year, through the summer, into the next fall. Now, I'm not teaching anymore. I don't want to teach. I want a creative life, right? I want to write. I want to be an actress. So I'm at Brooklyn College now, getting my master's degree in writing. And one afternoon, I get a message on my machine. It's 1988. And Lee invites me to Rosh Hashanah dinner to meet his mother. I hear meet mother, and I'm like, whoa, no, this is like way too serious. I'm trying to figure out my life. I don't want to meet anybody's mother. So I do what I do, and I don't know what to do, which is disappear. And I don't call him back, and I don't answer the phone, and when I see when he calls, and I just can't. And so I don't. 40 years later, June, out of the blue, I get a call from Lee. And it's nice to hear his voice. I think about him sometimes. And he tells me that, it's nice to hear my voice, and he'd like to see me. He invites me to a retirement luncheon for one of the teachers that we used to work with. And he says he, misses me, and that makes me a little nervous. But here's the thing. I am moving to Los Angeles in 2 months. So why not? Why not? So I go to the luncheon with him because I'm going to be leaving anyway. And we start going out again. But I'm committed to leave. I have to find myself. I have to figure out what I'm doing with my life. So before I leave, Lee asks me for my headshot because he wants to pin it on his bulletin board in his home office because he says he wants to see my smile every morning. And he tells me he's going to wait for me. And I'm thinking, no, don't wait for me, because I am going to Los Angeles. I'm going to start my life. I'm going to figure things out. I'm going to be an actress. I'm going to be a writer. Don't wait for me. And I go. And I'm in Los Angeles, and I'm doing my thing. And we start writing letters to each other. And Lee writes he types these single-spaced long letters. And he tells me about what's going on in the high school and the movies that he's seen and the plays and the restaurants and what's going on with his life. And the last paragraphs, he gets very sentimental and emotional. He misses me, he'd like to see me. And then he stops and he writes a sentence or two apologizing because he knows that I don't want to hear that and I'm just going to disappear and not write him back. But the truth is I like those paragraphs. I miss him. And LA is fun. But I'm waitressing, and here's the thing. I start teaching. I am teaching a community college class. And then I find out, my dad's back in New York. I find out that he's been diagnosed with leukemia. My grandfather dies. I miss the funeral. And I'm like, what am I doing here? Why am I in LA? I'm there for 7 years, and I want to go home. And I do. And I come back to New York. And Lee and I get back together, and this time it's for real. I am ready. And it's great. And we're just like we don't miss a beat. One morning, we're walking home from Starbucks. We're going back to my apartment. And Lee tells me that I need to think about what furniture I want to take from his house. Weird. But then I'm thinking, oh, okay. we're going to move in together. We're going to get that apartment in Manhattan, and he wants to know what furniture I want to bring. Or maybe he doesn't like my furniture, I don't know. And then he tells me that the year before I came back, he'd been diagnosed with metastatic melanoma. He'd done the research, and there's nothing to do, and he is just going to let the disease take its course. We don't know how much time we have. And so for the next 5 years, we live. I finally meet his mother, and we take a trip. We go to Paris together, all of us. I meet his son, who's now in his 20s, and we go camping together in Wyoming. And Lee and I we cook dinners, we go hiking, we bike, we play Scrabble. He meets my family, and we just live, right? We live until we can't. Thank you.